good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Fast Times vlog. Moving on with the times.
During our previous episode, wherein the Fast Times vlog featured the president of Mazda Philippines, Stephen Tan, we showed a video clip that was taken from YouTube, which was a collaboration between Car Guide and Mazda. We did not properly acknowledge where the video came from, and with that, we are very sorry to the owners of Car Guide. It was unintentional, and rest assured that next time we will be more careful, and it will never happen again.
How's the world of motoring? Alain, what happened this week?
Volkswagen we had a meeting with Volkswagen yesterday about it's a media roundtable siya, and they actually announced that they actually confirmed that they're going to bring the Volkswagen T-Cross.
Ano ba yung T-Cross? Anong classification niya?
It's a compact SUV siya. Kasing laki niya with the Kia Stonic. Ginamit nila yung global platform ng Volkswagen. It's actually been sold in other countries. You're going to sell vehicles na ginagamit nila yung global platform such as the T-Cross.
What else did Volkswagen guys deal on?
They also announced the new global car. So let's be honest with the La Vida, Lamando, Santana. They didn't really resonate well with the buyers. They only sold 177 units in 2020, which is miserably low. They're gonna bring in now the global nameplate. They did say that the other two cars they're bringing in are, some of them would be SUVs.
Did they discuss anything about improving their after sales?
They plan to reduce the ownership costs of their cars, once a year maintenance program or 10,000 kilometer interval. Then there's also the free roadside assistance, a 24-hour emergency roadside assistance. So if you get into a breakdown or let's say tire puncture, whatever, they could assist you, and they're ready to assist you 24/7. Just give them a call. They're just one call away.
Volkswagen has already released some electric models globally, so they did say that it's a possibility. There's going to be a possibility to bring electric models here in the Philippines as well.
Doon na papuntang industry like Volvo. Volvo nag-announce na formally na within 5 years lahat ng kotse nila electric na. And Porsche started selling the Taycan. Infrastructure is important. Dapat the government should help the industry. Kasi alam ko kailangan pa yata ng batas para magkaroon ng ganyan, para maayos yung infrastructure.
Saka also sana clean energy infrastructure so that di naman masayang yung pag-electrification ng car industry, and we're still using coal power. Sana naman pati yun maayos nila.
Ano pa bang nangyari last week sa motoring industry?
We also had the launch of the Toyota Vios GRS Sport. It is separated from the GR, the actual GR car. So if you have the GR Sport name, that's not the performance model, but more of an aesthetic package.
Will it be available local? Kunyari, if I buy the GRS na Vios and I want to upgrade the suspension, you can buy it from Toyota or you have to import it from Thailand?
The suspension, the brakes, the engine is all stock. But I've spoken to a few members of the Toyota enthusiast group, and I think they do plan on trying to source even locally yung mga components on the Vios Cup cars.
Chewy, what's up with Ford? I think they launched, they expanded their Ford Ranger lineup. No, I think you're part of that team.
Continuing on with the recent expansion of the Ranger. 2 weeks ago, I believe they introduced you guys to the new facelifted Ranger, and to even expand that for more to cater to the off-road enthusiasts at heart. They released the FX4 Max last week to the local market. The good thing about this is it comes between your Wildtrak and your Ranger Raptor. It comes with monotube Fox shocks, BF Goodrich KO2 tires, with special 17-inch wheels. Now, yung KO2 is good for this car kasi lahat ng Raptor, anything named Raptor, or anything that came from that Ford performance development is actually developed around these KO2 tires. So the NVH and the performance is really optimized for those KO2s. What else could come with? It has off-road side steps. It doesn't come with mono side step anymore. So each door has a little foothold for you, and the grill is different to mimic the the F-150 Raptor. The Ford in bold is on that grill, and in the back also, unlike the Ranger Raptor, it comes with a tubular black sports bar. Your
Mm.
interior gets special seats that's embossed FX4 Max. And for the enthusiasts out there are upfitters, the aux switches that you can
Gusto ko yun, type
use.
ko yun. Sa
Yeah,
dashboard,
we have six.
type ko yun.
Yes, we
Ganda
have
yun.
six on top of the dashboard. So hindi ka na lilinya tapos hindi ka na bubutas. You go
Ganda,
there,
ganda.
you just switch. And it's all available to the Philippine market already. Maganda siya. It comes with I'm not really sure for the Philippine market, but here in Thailand you can option it with or without the graphics. That seems to be a popular option without.
Oh, so,
And the pricing is at, and Ike, correct me if I'm wrong, at 1.6. None yung specifics na numbers after.
1,690,000 pesos.
There you go.
1,690,000.
ang tanong ko dyan, Chewy,
Yes, sir.
is the Raptor and the FX4, para ba Lego yan? Can you interchange the parts?
No. So
Kasi pareho ng suspension eh. Same shocks ba o magkaiba? Although parehong Fox, ha?
both Fox. They're both Fox shocks, but you're also thinking that the Ranger Raptor is wider.
So, okay.
It's also
Mas
built
heavy
a
duty.
little
Mas heavy
different.
duty talaga.
Yes. There are really the thing with FX4 Max is you can take it off road, you can take it up rocks and whatnot. And with the Ranger Raptor naman, it is built for Baja. You can go as fast as you can through sand, through the lakes that we always go through, and almost any terrain possible. Maganda
Okay.
to ang FX4 Max, maganda. It's what's
So,
really
Then I
worth
think right that then I think right the monotube shocks of the Raptor is a bit longer compared to the FX4 Max. It's a bit longer, di ba? Like 2
Yes,
inches.
it compensates for the also added height because the Ranger Raptor is a platform in itself. It's a Ford Performance vehicle developed by Ford Performance. The FX4 Max is based off of the XLT. So we have the development is there it aligns with the Ranger Raptor, but it's not 100% a Ford Performance vehicle.
Okay. So, if you're going to choose between the Raptor and the FX4, like Francis mentioned earlier, 150,000 lang ang difference yung dalawa, di ba?
In the local market here, we'll have to double check because I know if it's at basically 1.7 now, the Ranger Raptor, I believe, topped off at 2 million recently with the price increase. That's about 400,000 or so difference. Here locally in Thailand, it comes in at 1.1, and then the Ranger Raptor is at 1.6. So
Okay.
that medyo malaki din. Really, it's considering also ano ba yung preference mo. If you can drive a Ranger Wild Track, you can drive an FX4 Max. Pero may nai-intimidate din from the Wild Track to the Raptor kasi the side fairings medyo malaki talaga. So it really is to your comfort level. But this reminds me, yung pricing really reminds me of the Ranger Raptor kasi nung introduction price ng Ranger Raptor 1.6 din. Nagpanic buy mga tao kasi it's an introduction price and it's very well equipped for what it is.
Okay. So, what else is new with Ford, Ike? Impressions on the FX4, guys.
I think it's perfect for those who want the off-road capability of the Raptor, but with the Raptor kasi, since it uses an not independent pala, a coil spring rear suspension, it can only carry up to 800 kilos of payload. But with the FX4 Max, since it still uses a leaf spring suspension at the back, it can still carry about 1,000 kilograms or a ton of payload.
O our resident tech guy, si Francis, nakarami, nasabi to tukol sa Ranger Raptor. Anong impression mo pare sa dyan sa FX4 na to?
Well, the FX4 actually, Ike mentioned it nga, no? So as a
You being a Ford owner, di ba?
yes, sir. for a Ford owner for more than 13 years now. But what I keep mentioning the rear suspension. So the Ranger Raptor, I think, will end up being more of a luxury version with regards to
Mhm.
the Philippine market, especially with the rear suspension. But like I said, kung pang kargahan, it's definitely going to be the FX4 or the Wild Track. And so I have a Wild Track myself, pre-facelift. So I don't have the 2-liter turbo engine yet. It's the old 3.2. But
Mhm.
I've actually tested the vehicle
Okay.
with 1 ton payload in the back going up to Baguio, delivering brakes to customers. And yes, it makes a big difference if you're really going to be hauling stuff to have the leaf springs.
Mhm. Okay, so with that, we go into our driven section wherein yours truly tested the test drove the MG6, uh, one of the best sellers of the Morris Garage here in the Philippines. And here's my take on the MG6.
What you see before you guys is a subcompact car produced by the Chinese-owned British automotive manufacturer MG Motors. Ever since MG re-entered the Philippine market under a new distributor, it has made significant strides to improve its products and offerings. This includes the MG6. Alam nyo naman mga Pilipino, basta mukhang European, atok sa kanila yan. Tingnan nyo itong exterior ng MG6. It looks very premium and edgy. That it could be mistaken as a premium sedan. And step aside, tingnan mo from a distance, it boasts of a few similarities to its sibling, the ZS. I also like the front fascia of the MG6, which has the same iconic London Eye headlights and that sporty Stardust grille. The front fascia also carries the trophy badge. And if you look at the sides, may silver accents yan around the windows and sills that gives a pop to its exterior. The total look of the car is complemented by a two-tone 18-inch alloy wheels. And pag nakita mo talaga, you can distinguish it that it's European. It is not Japanese. Sa labas pa lang, tinan nyo, may sunroof with an anti-trap and manual sunroof shade. And sa likod, dual exhaust pipes. The octagonal badge of the MG has always been synonymous with sporty roadsters, fast two-seaters. While most guys who are in the age brackets of 20 up to 40-somethings, maybe they won't be able to recognize it, or historically they don't know it. There was a time that the MG was the world's hottest ticket. You were the coolest guy in the parking lot if you drove one. Now, it's owned by a Chinese manufacturer based in Nanjing. At a glance, the MG6 definitely isn't a roadster. It's a compact car designed to do battle with its Japanese counterparts like the Honda Civics, Toyota Corolla, and the Mazda 3. Dig deeper, and you will sense that there's a fair share of sportiness in its design. The MG from old is alive and well here in this car. While the exterior of the MG6 is well chiseled and straightforward, step inside the cabin to appreciate its over-the-top and driver-friendly character. Ang ganda ng two-tone red and black seats niya that blends well with the dashboard and the panels, which gives the MG6 an eye-catching and very attractive cabin. And look at the seats. The seats can be manually adjusted by way of a 6-way electric adjust with lumbar support. While yung rear seats, meron siyang 4-way manual adjust. And if you'll notice, another highlight of the interior of the MG6 is the flat-bottom steering wheel, which is an ode to the brand's rich racing heritage. And like a modern sedan, The steering wheel is packed with multifunctional controls that make it more convenient for the driver to focus on the road. Hindi lang sa driver nakatutok ang convenience ng MG6. The designers and engineers also saw to it that it comes with technology features for the passengers, such as dual zone climate control, cruise control, active speed limiter, pressure monitoring system, electric folding side mirrors, reversing camera, rear parking sensors, and 12-volt sockets, among others. And the infotainment system is something to write grandma about. It is equipped with an 8-inch touchscreen system with AM/FM radio, 2 USB ports, Bluetooth connectivity, phone integration features, which is best enjoyed by the car's 6-speaker system. Ang mga Pilipino ngayon, pag ang kotse gawang China, ang unang tinatanong, ano ba makina niyan? Malakas ba yan? Makakaahon ba yan sa bundok? Well, itong MG6, ang makina nito is a 59cc turbocharged engine na 166 brake horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. Ang cambio niya is a 7-speed TSC with manual Tiptronic function. So meron kang choice kung gusto mong eco drive o sporty drive. Medyo ipapaling mo lang pakanan, sporty ka na. Iba, mararamdaman mo yung lakas pag nilagay mo sa sports mode. The second generation MG6 was first unveiled in 2016 at the Nanjing Guangxi racetrack, and it incorporates MG's new design language of emotional dynamism, which is also shared by MG's second SUV, the MG ZS in 2016. The new grille, which is an important part of MG's new design language, is called Star Rider, which is what we call locally as the Stardust Grille. The MG6 comes with a lineup of features that ensure nothing less, that assures the comfort and safety and security of the passengers and the driver. This includes ABS system, an electronic brake force distribution, hill hold control, electronic stability program, anti-theft system, and an ISOFIX system, among others. If you're out to graduate from your subcompact car and you're looking for level up, say to a compact car, the MG is it. For 1.188 million, the car is a lot to offer. Kompleto siya, a host of safety, security, and comfort features, all packed in a European package. Naka-Euro ka na for that price. Pwede na, di ba? So, pag-usapan na lang dyan is the build quality or the after-sales performance. Because considering that MG is quite new to the ball game, we cannot yet comment on how well it will fare in the long run. But if you'll ask me, for that price, okay na siya. I'll buy this car.
That's my review of the MG6. And now we move on to our new segment, which is all about gears and gadgets. You know, us guys, if you like cars, malamang, mahilig ka din sa gadgets. Di ba, Francis?
Yes, sir.
So for this week, anong tines mo for our glove box segment?
So this week, our first segment, our first glove box segment for the pod, I'm going to show this exact watch here, this Seiko Quartz Chrono, and its, accessory, this beautiful needle strap. So coming up right now.
Welcome to the first edition of our new segment here in the Fast Times Pod called The Glove Box. Here we're going to show you guys some really cool car guy stuff, including accessories, lifestyle products, and car mods. Basically anything that shows your passion for cars. Today we're checking out some cool watch straps that show your individuality and how you express your love and passion for all things car related. This right here is my Seiko SKS 485P1. It's a simple quartz chronograph, not particularly expensive. I've owned it for maybe 4 or 5 years now. And it's one of my favorite watches because it's very sporty, very simple, and, well, it goes with pretty much anything. Now, it came with this leather strap out the box. So the first thing we're going to do is take this off. That was quick and easy. Now the next step is to take the old spring bars. 1 and 2. Put them back on the watch. Alright. Now the fun part, choosing a strap. As you can see, I have a lot of designs to choose from, and again, this is about expressing your individuality as a car guy or girl. And so I have a selection here that would, give you some ideas of what's out there. And all these straps I got from Makina Lifestyle. You can check them out in Lazada, in their Lazmall store. Just search Makina Lifestyle, and you'll see these and a much larger selection of straps. Now, going back to my little Seiko here, it's a car guy theme, hence the chrono, and I think I can start with a JDM inspired strap, which I think we'll start with this to celebrate the recent launch of Toyota's GRS Vios, which I think looks really cool. I would change the rims, but the kit looks awesome. I really like the look of that, and let's see what it looks like on the wrist. The best part about these straps is that, they're fully adjustable this way. They're very lightweight, they're comfortable, and they're washable. So you don't have to worry about them getting dirty. And I really like the look of that. Now, depending on the day of the week, you can change them. That's another great thing about these straps. You can have the same watch every day, but every day it looks like a different watch. So today might be the TRD, tomorrow maybe this Nissan GTR Nismo inspired one. How about this STI inspired strap? That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday maybe I'll go for something inspired by Martini, famous for their partnerships with Lancia, Porsche, and Williams F1 team. Maybe a little bit of history like this JPS strap, known for the Lotuses of the 1970s and 80s. Senna drove one of those, and Andretti won a championship in one of these cars. But actually, I think I'm going to try this one. Maybe you're a motorcycle guy and want something a little bit different, and we can have this Ducati inspired strap right here. And as you see, it only takes a couple of seconds to change between straps. Yeah, very sporty and instantly a different character. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday, we go for, I don't know, this Japan inspired strap. Maybe you're a JDM guy, but not necessarily just a Toyota guy or just a Subaru guy. Maybe you like multiple brands. I personally am a fan of, all those brands. Nissan, Suzuki, and the brand that this actually most resembles, which is Honda. The championship white and the deep red for the Honda logo and the Type R logos. And wearing this, again, it's a really, really different vibe. Much sportier, a little bit flashier, but I quite like it. Really shows off the JDM love. You don't have to just have a Seiko for this also. It works for pretty much any watch. So this is one of my favorite watches. It's a two-door GMT, and it's almost permanently on this BMW strap. And I've had this strap for a few years now, and I just wash it every so often, and it looks, well, almost as good as when I first bought it. And so I quite like this this combination right here. You can also have other designs. There's basic colors like this navy blue or this white. There's military-inspired ones like this desert camo and this jungle camo. But today, we're going to be talking to Volkswagen, and I think because of that, I will be wearing the German flag. Yep, I'm wearing this. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Tune in next week and every week for more car guy stuff right here on the Glove Box.
That was the review of Francis Aguila. His first of many to come. That's a nice strap, huh?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that
So, sakto lang because today I decided that to wear this German flag
yeah.
to welcome our guest from Volkswagen Philippines.
Guys, let's welcome to our forum, Sir Felipe Estrella, the big kahuna of Volkswagen Philippines, and also Maxus.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Uh,
Thank you for having me on the show.
So one of my questions would be, what can you say about the current market positioning of Volkswagen? And I guess which car brands would you say are its direct competitors? Like, kung talaga yung which brands are really your main competitors? Is it Toyota, Honda?
Mm. Yeah. Well, kasi right now, di ba, our lineup is mainly sedans, no? In fact, almost exclusively sedans at this point, right? And we're actually playing in two segments of the market: the subcompacts, where we have at least the product offer in the sedan format and the hatch format, kasi we have the Santana GTS, di ba? And essentially the compact to mid-size sedan market, where our Lamando is our offer. No, we're not obviously at this point. We're still growing our brand, and we're still trying to introduce our products to more people. We just want to have a presence there, and little by little, maybe convince more people to consider us as a brand and our products in those two segments. But overall, as a strategy, and as you can see, Dino mentioned yung pagdating ng TCross to the Philippines, right? So we will be entering that the subcompact SUV segment also with the TCross. And of course, this is this is one step forward for us as a brand in the Philippines, and we hope to take additional steps this year and in the years to come, right? And therefore expand our product portfolio over time.
during the last few episodes, we have been discussing the electrification of the automotive industry. Porsche recently jumped into the water by introducing the Porsche Taycan Turbo S.
Mhm.
Ang gimmick nila is if you buy a Porsche Taycan, they will install a charging facility in your home.
In your home.
O sa portable pa, portable, you can bring it anywhere with you. Ngayon, diniscuss mo boss nung event mo na ang Volkswagen papunta na rin sa ganung direksyon eh.
Mhm.
Will there be say are there any plans in the pipeline na siguro in a year or 2 years time na mag-introduce kayo mas kaya isang model na full electric? Dahil Ayala is the capability to do that. You have the means to do that. Kasi ang problema nga natin is yung infrastructure dahil wala tayong support from the government. The private sector is left to fend for ourselves. walang support ang government, the least they can do is provide infrastructure so the industry could move forward. Di ba, Francis, you have something to say about that?
Well, actually, no. Volkswagen, ever since its unfortunate Dieselgate history, they had a great pivot to electrification, moving all of even their motorsport activities have all focused now on electrification and clean energy. Like for example, the ID3, which is the
Mhm.
second fastest car ever to go in the Nürburgring, fastest EV, broken records in Pikes Peak, Goodwood, all that stuff. So you really can see Volkswagen's um, commitment and competency in the EV space. I wonder if there'll be something like that for here because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the ID4 crossover is already available for pre-order in the US. So that's something to look forward to. And plus, I know you mentioned kanina, may nagsabi, Combi's next. But well, since 2001, the Combi's been teased, but the latest version, the ID Buzz, is supposed to come out, I think, in 1 or 2 years, again as an EV. So, I mean, I can imagine, I can see a way where Volkswagen comes to the Philippines as the leader in the EV space.
Yeah, you're right. The ID3 is already available. The ID4 is actually on the verge of market introduction, if I'm not mistaken. No? Um, Kami sa Volkswagen Philippines, we're convinced that electric vehicles is the future. Right? It's gonna happen. We know it. But the question really is when. And I think tama si Dino when he referenced that there is nga dependencies, right? There's infrastructure considerations. There's on the regulatory front, right? Whether what sort of policy position the government may decide to take in terms of supporting the migration um, to electric vehicles, right? Uh, Kasi yung trend towards a new drivetrain for vehicles, right? This is a mega trend that was kind of seen by us like 3, 4, 5 years ago, no, as an Ayala group, uh, and and as we've watched it, we've really seen that it's happening all across the world, and that you can see the shift also. The product is kind of the end state of it, right? But there's so much that has to happen ahead of the product in order for the shift to take place. And all that stuff that happens in between is what uh, I guess what the futurists typically call disruption, right? And so there's really change that's happening. Processes are being reinvented. Things um, are going from black to white or white to black or something like that. No, and that's why it's not an easy question to answer when it will really arrive here. Now there are measures that are that can uh, make it happen a little faster, diba? So what you said, Dino, yung if you buy an electric vehicle, it comes with a home charging station, for example.
Mhm.
That can help move things along. And the fact, I think, my personal observation sa Philippines is usually when there are uh, things like that are available. Yung parang, what's the word for it? Parang ways or options to bypass certain existing limitations. Then we adapt. Meaning we take the product in or we start to use it, diba? Like for example, I don't know if you guys remember, uh, there was a time when trying to get a phone in your home would be such a difficult thing, di ba? Parang the lines were long, baka naalala pa may party lines, di ba? And
Oh
may
yeah, I
cross
remember
lines
that.
and
Yeah.
mga ganon, di ba?
Titos. Eh.
Right? And what happened to the Philippines, di ba? Nag-take off yung cellular as a technology, di ba? So suddenly, hindi ka na dependent on having a landline at home kasi nag-evolve yung cellular ecosystem, di ba? So, pwedeng ganun din yung mangyari sa atin. But a lot of things have to come together for that. I think one of the things that might help us along is the fact that at least living in Metro Manila, di ba, we don't travel a lot of distances on a daily basis, right? And so if you were to bring an electric vehicle here, I think you wouldn't be nervous that you would run out of juice. 'Di ba? Kasi malapit lang naman yung ibibiyahe mo, and even if your commute takes you a couple of hours or even 3 hours, most technologies at this point can handle that, 'di ba? So of course, if you're going to go from Manila to La Union or Ilocos Norte, then that's a different issue kasi yun may considerations about where will you recharge your vehicle midstream, di ba?
Alam mo
But
nga, alam mo
yeah,
nga,
so
boss,
I think lang yung mga things like that will help us along. And nabanggit na actually namin yan sa mga kaibigan namin sa Germany. Sabi namin, put us on the list. We definitely want to be part of this evolution, and we think that at least the operating environment in Metro Manila could be, not swap, but not ideal, but it could work in the Manila environment.
How has Volkswagen PH evolved since then? Ever since nung pinasok dito ni Ayala since 2013, if I'm not mistaken? How has the brand evolved since then?
Since 2013, the journey has, and I think as observers, you've seen it naman, no? We started with, I think, what was very familiar to many of Volkswagen enthusiasts and Volkswagen loyalists, models and badges that were very were, I guess, present in a wider scope of markets all across the world. So names that you knew, we brought in the Touareg, we had the Touran, we had the Tiguan, we had the Jetta at some point also, the Polo, right? We had the Beetle, of course, before it went end of life. But as I was saying, our reality is in the automotive industry, we have friction costs in our business, diba? And the rules are defined as to what level of friction costs affect certain products depending on where these products come from. So that particular product portfolio wound up in a price point that was medyo very, very premium, right? And actually at that time, we were also getting a lot of feedback from customers, essentially saying na parang bakit ang mahal naman ng Volkswagen, di ba? And particularly yung mga dati na from the past na Volkswagen, di ba, that means people's car. Pero ngayon yung presyo mo napaka-taas, no? So that was not obviously the team had worked very hard to bring those products as well and to price them as best as they could. Pero the realities were such, no? Kaya rin nangyari yung Alain, that there was a concerted and intentional effort to try and find a way to bring the price points down so that you could hopefully reach more Filipinos and make more Volkswagen products available to them, right? And that's where the option for our current product portfolio came in. And I think, to be honest, the price points are, obviously the fact that we have offerings at sub 1 million is a great thing, diba? And so from here, as I said, we're trying to build the product portfolio to add pieces to it so that we can cover a wider range of the Filipino automotive buying public. No?
So what's Ayala's goal for Volkswagen? Ano ba yung magiging narrative ng Volkswagen as a business from here on out?
Yeah. Well, obviously our aspirations are to grow the brand, right? And slowly but surely become increase our relevance in the automotive industry. And of course, as I said earlier, a big part of this is assembling the different elements of that of the equation, right? So products is a part of it. And again, I'll mention that TCross is step one, and we've shared that there will be subsequent steps to the TCross. Thank you, Chewy, for mentioning I think you were kind of alluding to what we like to say, only Volkswagen can build a Volkswagen, or a Volkswagen is a Volkswagen wherever you find it. And, I recognize that the products that are presently here, I don't consider the T-Cross as presently here, a few more months before it will be presently here, right? But the ones that are already here still adhere to those same standards, right? And so, if you get behind the wheel of those cars, you will feel that it is a Volkswagen, right? And in fact, even the design language is still very Volkswagen. So it's not it's more of a timeless type design, more classic, right? So that's there, right? The other elements we think of the business that we will obviously be working on is how we are able to take care of our customers, right? Through our dealership network also. So we have a present network that we have in Luzon, we have in Visayas, we have in Mindanao. We will build on that, right? And unfortunately, the pandemic really has thrown all of us for a loop, and the auto industry has been one of those that have been dramatically affected by the pandemic. So, 2020 was certainly a year of recalibrating, repositioning. We took advantage of it, and took the time to look at our business and also sort of identify how we would adjust to the new normal, right? So focusing on digitalization, even in terms of like how we communicate with our customers, going from, maybe a waiting where this is just an adjective, no, not exactly, but say if you were 50-50 before, traditional versus digital, now you were probably more overweight in terms of digital, right? And even our interactions with our customers, we need to expand it so that they have access to us, not just through the traditional means of the showroom floor, but that we're also available to them on the different social media channels where they frequent, right? Facebook, Instagram, or the websites, all these things. This is all part of I think the evolution that many companies are already making because of the new normal that we're faced. We intend to continue to build Volkswagen. We're part of a portfolio of brands being under the AC Motors umbrella and the bigger AC Industrials umbrella as well, right? And of course, auto has been a business that the Ayala Group has been in since since the early 90s of the previous century, and those businesses we continue to still manage, Honda and Isuzu. So the strategy really is to continue to we've assembled a stable of brands presently, right? And so now our focus is on growing these brands. Obviously, a lot of my time is spent on trying to work with the Volkswagen team to build Volkswagen, but we have a team that's focused on our other brands as well. And this is all aligned with the Ayala goal of building businesses, building businesses for the future. And syempre, nadagdagan yung, okay, now we're not only trying to build businesses for the future, but we have to build businesses that are very much in sync and attuned to what the future might be like, right? Because of this whole overhang from the pandemic.
As you mentioned, you will be introducing the T-Cross. then 2 or 3 more models.
Mhm.
So will this usher in an eventual phase out of the existing lineup, a complete overhaul of the Volkswagen lineup?
Uh, no, we think that we want to complement the existing lineup,
Mhm.
right? Because as I said, we want to be able to offer potential
Mhm.
customers different options across formats, for example, right, sedan, SUV, and others, but also across different price points, right? And as I said, one of the things that we do have presently with our current lineup is that we're able to offer them at sub 1 million peso price points, which
Mhm.
means that there is a, certainly there is a segment of the auto buying public that shops at that price range, right? And so we with this product portfolio we can do that. We may not be able to do that kasi with other products. Eh. So then
Mhm.
on this on this subsegment of the portfolio we add other products as well,
Mhm.
right? Because like for example, the T-Cross is not priced below 1 million, right? But it at its price range, there is a customer base that will shop for this format at that price point. And you know, with what we're offering, we hope they'll consider us. So we want to add to it rather than
Mhm.
subtract and, you know, add and subtract. Now, of course, we will continue to calibrate and see, uh, and then make decisions accordingly. But right now, the plan is to add to the existing product portfolio.
Do you have any plans to bring in the R line of R line accessories of the Volkswagen Group?
That's uh, that's always an option. So and in fact, we do talk about it. Uh, yung again, a big consideration dyan is whether we can bring it in at prices that make sense. No? Kasi nga, ayaw naman namin magdala dito tapos sasabihin ng uh, or people will not find value in what we're offering, right? Um, so the answer to that is it's not a no. If you ask me currently, are we bringing it in? Not yet. Could we bring it in? Possibly.
Who is Felipe Estrella outside of the Volkswagen office? How do you relax?
Ngayon, well,
Uh, how do you
uh,
find time for yourself to unwind? Do you listen to music? Do you cook? Do you drink alcohol?
all of the above. But of course, I have to answer that in terms of two different, ano, di ba? Eras, the pre-pandemic and the post-pandemic. During the pre-pandemic days, and of course, I was also younger then, I was more active. Mahilig din ako sa basketball, kaya
Oh,
nagkakasundo kami ni
basketball.
Vernon Sarne. Yun ang
Oh,
pinag-uusapan
basketball.
namin lagi, di ba?
Mm.
Ah, pero siyempre, tumanda na, humina na yung tuhod ng konti. So medyo hinay-hinay lang, right? Uh, in this present day, with us all work from home and us having to be a little careful about where we go, you know, what I enjoy really just, I have kids. I have 3 kids, so I'm happy that I spend a lot of time with them and my wife here at home. Just, you know, it's a blessing. I mean, as hard as the pandemic has been, it's also been a blessing that you can actually have lunch on weekdays with your
Mm.
children, right? Because they have school in the morning, then they have a lunch break. I also have a lunch break, so we can sit at the dinner table and have lunch, and then have dinner again together. Whereas before, I would usually be in the office, diba?
Mhm.
During the day. So, I mean, yun lang. That's uh, that's the relaxation. And then, yun nga, occasionally when we need to decompress, we'll take a drive out.
Mhm.
And of course, the motivation's a little bit more now because we have a Lamando in the garage.
And now for last question, Chewy, you fired last salvo for Boss Felipe.
Actually, before I ask it, pala, belated happy birthday kay Miss Timmy. All right. So last week, kasi we had Steven Tan from Mazda, and he said, his path wasn't really to be an automotive executive. If you could talk to Young, yung Pupi na walang mali siya before, yung Young Pupi, what path did that Young Pupi want to take?
I would actually echo Steven's statement na I didn't think I would be in the auto industry. Prior to joining the Ayala Group, I had actually been working for financial institutions. I worked for 3 banks prior to that. One was abroad in the US after I finished my master's degree. And then I came home and joined a local bank and then another multinational bank. And then I joined Ayala in 2010. And I was with the finance team, actually, up until we started AC Industrials as a group. And I was actually invited and asked to be the CFO of AC Industrials, a position which I continue to hold until today. And of course, shortly before March 2018, actually Jan 2018, our CEO, Art Tan, who I think you also all know anyway, asked me to help out with Volkswagen, the business, and that's actually how I wound up in the auto industry. So that's why I said you guys are much smarter than me when it comes to automotive, because I'm not an enthusiast, but I am a serious customer. I am a serious automotive customer. And what do I mean by that? Meaning, I watch the industry, I look at the trends, and it interests me. It interests me to know what people are buying. It interests me to know what are the new models that are coming into the market. I may not be the guy that sets up my car with the latest in alloy wheels and other type features. All my cars are actually stock, and I happen to like the way they look. That's the other thing pala about VW. Sa stock pa lang maganda na, I have to say.
Ganyan po sa mga numbers guy, mga accountant. Ayaw nila lang masyadong arte, basta functional lang, okay na.
Yun. So, yung parang gusto ko lang, pinapanood ko, tinitingnan ko yung mga kotse, look at what the nice cars are, what the good cars are, and then, so that's my affinity to the auto industry. So I was actually, when Art asked me to join, it felt quite natural, to be honest, because even if I don't consider myself like an motorsports enthusiast or an auto enthusiast, I do consider myself an auto fan, or at the very least an auto observer. So joining the industry felt quite natural, to be honest. And then, of course, having the chance to talk to you guys and learn from you guys and hear your opinions is also a very interesting experience. The things I hear from you guys is very helpful and adds to my knowledge bin on the auto side. So that's how I wound up in the auto space. I don't think you can engineer this kind of a career path, to be honest. So I don't know what I would tell a young grade school student. I would probably tell him, if you want to be in the auto industry, start right out of college, right? That would be the most direct way to get there. But I'm lucky that I wound up here nonetheless. So, and I'm enjoying the time, and I'm looking forward to being able to contribute to the industry, and of course to my brand, and meet customers, and hopefully give our Volkswagen customers, really the feeling of a positive experience with the Volkswagen brand and the Volkswagen products. Kasi I'm a customer, right? And that's where I really come from. At the end of the day, I myself am an automotive customer. So I know, and I feel, sorry, like everyone else, right? You feel it. You know what you want to experience when you have your car fixed. You know what you want to experience when you drive your car. These are very real things to us as people, di ba? And so parang I always try to keep that in mind uh, when um, as we try to manage the Volkswagen business moving forward. So it's always like exert every and all effort to make our Volkswagen customers as happy as possible, and if possible, to increase the number of Volkswagen customers, both past, present, and future.
Malaking bagay pala si Pupi sa atin. Siya pala ang wallet ng AC Motors.
Hindi. AC Industrials.
AC Industrials.
Si Gabi Blasang
Si Gabi
CFO
pala.
ng AC Motors. Oh.
Nako, butya na. Sa isang tao, importante yung wallet eh. Well, boss, with that, thank you for joining us in this week's episode of Fast Times. Thank you for taking time out. I know it's a weekend. You're supposed to be resting, Dahil, thank you, boss, at nandito ka.
No, I thank you actually sa inyo. I appreciate, I hope, may tendency ako maging madaldal. I hope I didn't bore you guys. And,
dami nga namin natutunan, boss eh.
But no, seriously, salamat. Maraming salamat. I enjoyed spending time with you, kwento-kwento, and exchanging our ideas on the different topics.
Thank you. That's another episode of Fast Times. We tackled a lot of topics from the launch of the TCross, the Vios GR, and the Ford FX4, and we drove the MG, and the gadget review of our friend Francis Aguila. Till next time, we'll see you again on our next week's episode of Moving with the Times, Fast Times. Guys, thank you. Francis, any last words for our viewers?
Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in for Moving In with the Times. I hope you like and subscribe, and be sure to follow our Facebook page as well.
Follow the Facebook page, like and subscribe, and remember what Sir Felipe said. It's okay, and it's good to be a customer.
Continue to support our podcast every week, because with your support, we're able to do the things that you want us to do, and of course, entertain and give you all the latest information in the automotive industry.
Yeah, the Fast Times is your program, and we're here for you, our dear subscribers and viewers and listeners. With that, folks, thank you and God bless and have a nice week.